Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr.
Let's see.
Hello, people. This is Warren L. Booker Jr. Thank you so much. We have reached 100 subscribers. Actually, as of today, it's 149. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep it going. Good day, potluckers. It's your boy, Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr. I thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the soon-to-be internationally known webcast, The Potluck. I come to you today as Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr., but I also come to you as well as Paul. You guys are very aware that I've been a part of The Color Purple. I have been down your timeline for the last probably month and a half or 2 months talking about The Color Purple. And I am so excited today because today we are serving our featured menu item, which is Living a Dream in The Color Purple. Again, Living a Dream in The Color Purple. And since we're in that vein, I'm going to serve another dish, which is our appetizer. And today's appetizer is as follows. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes reality. I'm going to say it again for the people that just showed up late to the potluck. Again, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes reality. So with that being said, I don't want my sous chefs to wait any longer. I'm going to bring them in, and they're going to serve up some dishes to all of us. And we just had a conversation prior to. We have some meatloaf. We have some cakes and pies. We have some green beans. We have some Kool-Aid. And again, Kool-Aid, not Kool-Aid, but Kool-Aid and some other stuff I think I forgot. But hallelujah, and how I am so ready to eat. First, I'm bringing to the stage is a friend of mine. We go way back. I'll flash a picture of him real quick. He plays the role of Preacher in The Color Purple. And we first began acting together in a play called Freedom by Coffee Davis. And that's when I first met him. And we have worked on several projects since then. So let me bring my boy in. Hollywood Woo, what's up with it? Say hi to the people here at the potluck table.
Hello, and God bless everybody. I'm happy to be here. Such an honor and a privilege yet again to sit at the table, and I bring you the meatloaf tonight.
Okay, well, we'll take that. And if you probably have noticed his name, it's Hollywood Woo, and he's not going to toot his own horn, but I will say it with pride. He was on American Idol. American Idol has done some reality shows, so on and so forth. So we are definitely dealing with Hollywood, and nobody can say that better than Mr. Stephen Wan Young. We worked on projects with him together. Next, I will be bringing to the stage Miss Val. There she is, Miss Valerie Benton, and who is a soloist, and she takes us to church in The Color Purple. Let's bring her on in. Miss Valerie Benton, how are you doing? Welcome to the potluck table.
I'm good. Hey.
Oh, she's there.
Glad to be here.
That's right. Glad you are here. Now, what are you bringing to the potluck table?
I'm bringing the cake, the pie, the donuts, the cookies, all the sweets.
All sweets. All sweets. Don't get us. I'm here to fit in this shirt. Like, I'm already busting out. I'm exercising faith right now. She brings stuff. All righty. So next we have coming to the potluck table, which is Miss Maya, and I'm loving this picture that she has posted. And again, they have one role listed, but we're all playing several roles. But let's bring Miss Maya to the potluck table. What's up, Miss Maya? How are you doing today?
What's up? I'm doing good, and I'm coming in with the yams, baby. I got the yams.
Okay. Those yams. I'm sorry. You know, I'm a church boy, and I'm mine. You know how we think. Amen.
Marshmallows on top.
Okay. Lord, let us pray. Let's say grace now. And last but not least, and I just realized I do not have this picture uploaded, but that's all right. That is all right. Our assistant director and a role that I admire, Harpo. Let's give it up for Taji. Welcome to the potluck table, Taji.
Hey.
How you
Listen,
doing, sir?
I know everybody brought their favorites, but I brought the one that everybody's going to talk about. Remember, I brought the baked mac and cheese, okay?
Yep. We need that for the table.
That's true. That's true. Did you put breadcrumbs in it?
Oh no.
No, no, no.
All the new stuff. I'm like, leave all that new stuff out. Leave
I
all
said,
that.
y'all can have it.
Right. Okay. So with that being said, people, I want to say thank you for joining us. And of course, we are a part of a topic that is trending all over Arkansas, not just Little Rock. If I could show you my phone, like, man, you can't work out enough for no tickets. What's up for some tickets? I'll do anything for some tickets. I'm like, anything. But definitely, we are part of the hot show, the musical, The Color Purple. And I'm just curious, before we even delve in talking about The Color Purple, I know each of us have a background, I'm assuming, in acting of some sort. But if you would briefly kind of tell me your background in the field of acting. I'll start with you, Maya, if you would please share with us.
Yes. Okay, I would love to start. I feel like I have the least acting experience. My background is specific to classical music, operatic styles specifically. But I just started my first door into the theater world was Three Penny Opera. I played Lucy Brown. My first role, my first time being able to experience theater world under Stacy Pendergraft. Thank you, Stacy, for giving me that space. And then after that, I just have been just ambitious to get back on the stage again. And so when I saw that they were having the Color Purple auditions, I had to try out. At the time, I was working 2 jobs, and I needed to find a creative expression, a creative outlet to like really validate my own experience as an artist.
Okay.
And the Color Purple was definitely that place for me. And things that I sacrificed, I would say I definitely let my job go. And I was just like, I'm just going to focus on school and this theater world and try to get it under my feet, because when I came in, I'm not gonna lie, I was heavily drenched in imposter syndrome. And I just felt displaced and just like, I don't know what to do or how to do it or even how to ask for help. And luckily I was around a good community of people that were like, come here, friend. Like, I'll teach you how to do this. I'll show you how to do this, how to deliver this, and I wasn't by myself. I wasn't like, left alone to figure it out. And I appreciate that from this cast specifically.
That's great. That is great. And I'm just curious, what pushed you to step outside of the box or step out of that familiar place?
Oh, what pushed me the most was the fact that I already quit my job. Like, okay. I already was like, I was already giving up things.
Okay.
To show up, and like, showing up and not doing what I needed to do was kind of like out of the question at that point. It was like, girl, either shit or get off the pot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes you have to give up to gain. Yeah. That's what I get out of what you're saying. You have to give up some things to gain some things. Yeah. So moving on to you, Taji, because some of that verbiage that you use sounds very familiar. Sound like it may be something that Taji said. Because come on, friend, do this, friend. So just kind of give us and I'm quite sure your resume is probably extensive, but just, when did you get involved into theater, to acting, so on and so forth?
I actually started off in the church. I was in a gospel group. We are a big basketball family, but somehow I convinced myself that I wanted to play baseball. Literally was getting changed in the locker rooms, walked across the hallway into the gym and saw them rehearsing a play. And I was like, as the drama teacher at the time, and she has since passed, if I could join. She said, not right now, come back and try again next time. And I did. And I fell in love with it ever since. The Color Purple for me marks my 43rd show.
Wow.
So I'm almost at 50. I've been acting since 6th grade. I had a little bit of a break. They tore down our theater in my hometown. When they built the new high school, they just never rebuilt it. And so we were at a loss in that department. Um, so I stuck with like band and ROTC and things like that. Went to go do college biology as my major. I got a call from this lady named Judy Vassar, probably the most Southern of belles you'll ever meet. And the smallest voice. And she was like, "This is Judy Vassar here at SAU. And we know that you put biology down, but we just started a new musical theater program and we'd love for you to audition." I went to go audition, had very green on the formalities of auditioning. I sang the last song I heard on the radio because the song I prepared, 2 people sang it before me. And I did a monologue from the movie, and I ended up with the full ride, and I have not looked back since.
Wow. Interesting journey. Interesting journey. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, you, Miss Val.
Well, sort of like Taji, I kind of got the acting bug in church. I had my little first gig in Prentice Dupin's In the Twinkling of an Eye, and I played one of the devils. That was a lot of fun because I'm pretty much known as a sweet girl, so I got to play a devil and try to influence people for the wrong reasons. So that was fun. Then I got my next opportunity also in the church under a director named Latavia Vaught, and we did 2 Christmas productions, Saints and Sinners, and I got to play a bougie Black woman, and I thoroughly enjoyed that role. Okay. And then I got to play a crackhead who turned her life around and came back to her family in the second one. Amen. So The Color Purple. Oh, and then I did Black Nativity under Darian Mull, which was my first official debut, and that was a lot of fun. So when The Color Purple came around, I thought, this is like big time. Can I even do this? And Darian Mull has been my inspiration, and she said, "Yeah, you can do anything you want to do." So tried out and got in, and it's really, really different. A lot of time, a lot of things that I'm doing that I never expected I would do. Right. But I am having the time of my life. I'm so glad I got this experience.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing. And last but not least,
I would probably say I've been acting probably as long as I knew that's what I was doing. Started out in reading class. I could never sit still, and so my reading teacher, Mary Baskins, I love her, called my mom. It was like, ma'am, I was calling to let you know that your son, Kenneth, he's been not being really focused in class today, and just being disruptive and all these other things. And I think that it would be a great thing to find an outlet for him, like maybe like drama or music or something like that, or whatever else. Needless to say, so it started there. And then met my my drummer teacher, Miss Lunsford, who also came to see the show. But originally, I come in from the singing world because my entire family sings, and so that's what I knew at first. And so then, so from singing to acting, then I went to ULR, where I got my degree in music, and then I got a degree in theater, and then radio, TV, film, and I was under Stacey Pendergraph also, so I am familiar with Stacey, and we're still great friends to this day. Stuff for the Stanislavski, Lord have mercy, the man name. I studied 2 different forms of acting. That's the Stanford Meisner technique and the Stanislavski's. I'm not fluent in Russian, so if my name, so the man name a little bit off, my apologies. But anyway, so I studied 2 different methods of acting, and then so from there, and then I've had opportunities outside of of the university. Like you mentioned before, I did American Idol. I've done movies as well, and so I'm all things creative. All things creative.
Great, great, great. And Maya kind of hitting on the second thing that I want to talk about the sacrifices that have been made to just make this happen or to be a part of this great production. And I'll start with myself. I mean, sleep has definitely been sacrificed. I even
Yes.
quit. No, oh, let me, Coach Clark. I did not quit. I took a leave of absence at Life Skills
I
Reunion.
said, no.
Yeah, and senior kids there this summer. I'll be doing a 2-week boot camp there, going over drama and film, so on and so forth, just so I could be a part of the production. And and of course, I'm not the only one that have made sacrifices. Would anyone else kind of like to share some sacrifices that they may have made to make this happen, to make it possible to participate?
I'll start off. So, um, sharing a vehicle and then taking care of two parents. Also, I mean, it's definitely a full time job, and then committing yourself to learning all the music and choreography, and um, definitely it's a new form of learning not to be selfish, but to be more giving. I think, and how to utilize the best of your time, because a lot of us know we were there. There were times where we spent a lot of time with each other and away from our families, and um, um, so not just for us personally, I think those of us that do have families, there has to be an understanding and say, hey, I'm doing something that's greater than myself. Um, allow me to take this exploration, right? And so that's what it was. That's what it was for me.
Okay.
And just trying to balance it out.
Gotcha. So balancing. Anyone else like to share?
Well,
Okay.
I think I may be the only one or one of two people that are actually married in the cast.
Uh,
So, and I have a very good marriage, but I haven't been at home. I've been gone a lot.
and Mr. Ben, if you're watching, she's been with us. I can attest to that.
And he's very supportive because he knows that this is what I want to do. But with all of the time that we spend practicing and learning music and learning routines and all this other stuff, I still have to think about home. So I'm still trying to hold up my end of the bargain. I'm still trying to make sure we got meals, make sure clothes are washed, make sure
Yeah.
dishes are clean, the houses are, the house is clean. So I'm kind of like burning the candle at both ends right now. But it's working in my favor, and it's almost to an end. And I've also learned that I've had to sacrifice to learn some things that I didn't know. I can play the piano, but I've never read music, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It does.
So this experience has taught me how to actually read music, and I have to contribute some of that to Maya, because Maya has helped me out with some of that. I've never done that before. And the first day of rehearsal is like, they expect us to know these songs already. I don't know how to do this. That was a little stressful. So trying to learn all the new stuff and keeping up with the household, that's probably been my biggest sacrifice.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to share? If not, that's fine.
I want to talk about I guess going on what Valerie was saying about having to learn music for the first time, how to read sheet music. It was kind of the first time that I kind of developed character, like outside of like a lead role, like developing ensemble, like how to create an environment, how to tell a story with just movement, and like trying not to drop the action and trying to play it big. Because I'm someone who I don't like to play things big. Like I like to keep things inward, and that's kind of like what we learn to do when we're studying music, like especially if we're on stage. It's kind of like a park and bark situation.
Okay.
So it was kind of hard to learn how to project, sing, and dance. That was a sacrifice for me, like on time and like having to really show up and just sing and dance and get, especially like the African singing. Like, oh my God, that's singing. This day, I promise you, I used to go to sleep and wake up. What is tonight? Like,
Yes.
like having to play over my head with the emotions. Like, oh my God. So, like, yeah, it's definitely sacrifices of sleep, child.
Yes.
I didn't say sleep, but yes, sleep was definitely sacrificed.
Right. I'm with you on that, Maya. I promise you. I think that's been the hardest thing about this production. Like I was at work, I had it in my ear, and I mean, it was hard. But once I got it, I got it. So I definitely can relate to you on that. Taji, I mean, you're kind of like the only one at the table that hadn't had a piece of roll yet. So
I'm used to. I say this is my primary thing, and I also teach, but I always think of teaching as like my secondary because it funds what I want to do. But I still kind of say, I guess my sacrifice is time, like time away from myself, time away from, just relaxation a lot of times because I like to see things through completion. And I like to see, I like to try to make it comfortable for other people along the way too. So I say sacrifice of time and a little bit of self because I'm still choosing me at the end of the day. But just a little bit of self.
I'm with you. And I know that you also serve dual roles as assistant director. So what is that like actually being one of the main characters in the show as well as the assistant director? What has that journey been like?
At first I was like, man, I'm never going to have time for Harpo. I was like, when I got asked, I was very grateful to begin with, but also beforehand, like I also have to think about what that meant to me as a being. The color purple exists beyond who I am as a person. I can only relate to 2/3 of those things. I'm Black, I'm queer, but I'm not a woman. And that was like I'm not going to necessarily say the uphill battle, but it was the thing that I had to sit and think, wait, how can I tell this story just from a 2/3 view? And it was, it's been a journey from the beginning to the point of creation now, or, being able to exhibit those things. And so I honestly would say the answer to that would be, it has been a fun wild ride, but also eye-opening and beautiful and mesmerizing all at the same time.
Right. And one thing I like to add, I made sacrifices, but I have learned so much. And speaking of sacrifices, we have 2 cast members I know that are driving back and forth from Pine Bluff and in between whatever the Army people do, boot camp or training.
Drill.
Yeah, drill right there. Through drill. And I just have watched other people, like you mentioned about the married people. We have a castmate, has 4 kids and a wife, so I've seen that, but I've also have seen our leadership make sacrifices as well. And I have gained so much knowledge. Like I've been in theater most of my life, like most of you started in the church, but I didn't know nothing, at first. And I as far as what is it, CISPRO, all those fancy names and lift call and all that stuff, all of that is new to me, even though I have done it, but it's knowing the proper terms, and I may have to ask you, hey, what was that called when we do this? But all of that has been new, and it's only things I can add to my resume and will benefit me in my business with Why We're in Entertainment, as well as with my students, because I can say, oh yes, that's what helped me out, Taji. The 2 things that we did,
the SITS probe and the Vonda probe.
Yes, that, and I may never be able to say that, but we did that, and I was appreciative.
SITS probe and Vonda probe.
Now I understand mic check. I get that. I get that, but it has been such a learning experience for me just overall. So while we're sacrificing, we are also gaining a lot of things. So we're talking about the color purple. So I just want to know individually, what does the color purple mean to you? You kind of hinted on that a little bit, Tachi. But what does it mean to you? And I'll start with myself. Like, it's my favorite movie. It's my favorite play. So to be able to be a part of it is just an honor. I think that the storyline takes place in the 1900s, but it's still relevant today in 2023. So it truly means a lot to me. You can see it's plastered behind me. It's plastered as the background. But so if you don't mind sharing, anybody would just kind of popcorn that thing. See, we serve popcorn also at the potluck.
I don't mind going first this time
Okay.
around. I'm actually going to read, and I'm going to do a little promotion. For the show, we have these magazines that we've just shortened to be called zines, and it just gives a little background information on some of the things that happen in the show. So this is free because these aren't. But these were my words about what it meant to me. And I said that it felt like my identity has been realized. That's what the show means to me. Alice Walker chose to give life and meaning to a Black queer woman, and to be able to exist as 2/3 of that vision and embrace that on stage and in our space has been beautiful. I love that Celie finds love in its purest form, specifically the journey of loss that Celie goes through, only to choose love regardless is beautiful. I also love the differences of masculinity as presented in the work. Alice Walker directly showed how ignorance and toxicity from old Mister can be a generational issue through Mister, but it only takes one person to choose to break the chain. That Harpo.
Okay. Love it. Toxicity. I like that. I'm attracted to words. That one.
I'm gonna follow behind Taji because, like, honestly, I feel the same. I feel like anytime I step into my role, I feel like I validate my own self, like my true self. Like self in the beginning as a church woman, that's the worshiper. And then the self that's also the bartender, who's also the moonshine person. And I'm also playing a non-binary person in the play. So like to be specifically I'm bi-gendered. But in the play, like just to have that kind of role in that kind of space, it just felt more natural, and it validated a lot of things in my life that like I wouldn't have pursued in my personal life, but I don't know, doing it on stage kind of made me more receptive to the energy in real life. Because although I'm a non-binary person, you know, I'm flirting with Suge. I still have a man, you know, in the play. And I don't know. I just think that having that kind of that multiplicity in that role, like that person, the character, is just like, it's a blessing to me because it validates a lot in my life. Because, you know, for a long time, I personally would put myself in parameters and put myself in a box of labels. And like being a character that was like, yeah, forget labels and just do you. If you at church, you know, act according to, you know, be respectful. If you know, at the bar, you can turn up too. And, you know, there. And it's just like, none, it wasn't, I mean, of course you had to judge before but like, even they was like, you know, we finna push the button, you know?
Yeah.
So seeing that kind of, seeing the change of like environment syndrome, like each environment having its own, bringing out the qualities of each character, that's been my favorite part of the play.
Okay. And I just noticed, you know how you always have that one person that's supposed to bring the chicken?
Yeah.
And
did nobody bring the chicken?
Yeah, we got some chicken, I think, coming on. Let's bring
Come on, chicken.
Chicken too.
Yes.
Oh, it's fried, baby. It's fried.
Is it okay? That's all I do with a little sauce.
Okay. Yeah, we have a whole meal here. And I'm the snack.
Come on, snack.
All right.
Taji, what you gonna do with them?
Pray.
Yeah, what you said, pray.
Just pray. What's up, everybody? Hey, Miss Val.
Hey.
Kenny.
Hey, Cordell, we were just kind of with the silent B.
I don't got a pretty background like y'all, but come on, keep going.
That's all right. We were talking about what the color purple means to us. We kind of going around the table, just kind of sharing what it means to us. So,
What I would share. So first of all, I've done like little church plays, like little stuff like this. But this is my first ever like for real play. So to be a part of something, like to be in. So to be a part of this will always actually hold a very special place to me because I can genuinely say it was officially my first ever stage play. So that is, I want to say that's the first thing that I will always remember about this play. Secondly, the cast. This has been like the most fun, like cohesive. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like let's be honest. Sometimes when we're around a whole bunch of black people, it gets drama and mess and stuff like that. But to me, honestly, this has been so cohesive. It's been so supportive. It's pushed me out of some comfort zones that I was kind of in.
Yeah.
But it's also like grown me up a little bit in some areas that I didn't know, that I was not mature in, I guess, in a sense. But it also means to me that Black people are so talented.
Yes.
Like, I'm not taking anything away from the counterparts, but there is something about talented Black people, and when we come together and bring it's magical.
Right.
It's fun. It's everything.
Right.
So for me, like just being a part of this, being a part of the doing something with a fully all Black cast, it's just super special. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's right. Super special, and like to hear people say like I've seen the Broadway show and this is better than the Broadway show.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
That is.
That's a deal. So I honestly, it's an honor. And yeah, this is a thing, so I don't know if I can't say that I would do this consistently,
yeah,
very time consuming and
right.
And for some people this is like a career or whatever the case. This is something that they, and that's not the case for me. This is just something, that I enjoy doing and would like to do more of and learn how to do it. But ultimately I just love the people. I love the experience. It was just everything that, ups and downs, but what's not.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on something that I want to talk about the impact that this is having on the Black theater arena in Little Rock. Because some people were asking me, "Oh, is this your first production?" Because they don't know me. I, like many of you, I was in the church, or I was over here with Y1 Entertainment producing my own films, plays, and so on and so forth. And I was like, when I auditioned, I'm like, I don't know. And then they offered me a role. I said, they don't let me slide in this Black theater arena. Okay, let me slide on here and do like we do on Push the Button. Kenneth, and I know that you have done a lot of stuff in the Black theater arena here, as well as Taji. So do you think, I guess, by we've seen rave reviews that I think maybe Arkansas people around will realize that us Black people have a lot to bring, and we can bring out an audience, and we can sell out a show almost every single night. Because when I look at the roster for the tickets, the only date I saw available with tickets was April 14th, which we already know that has passed. So to me, that speaks volumes. So if one of you guys would please comment on that.
We've always been here. The talent has always been here. You can go back and look at the lineage. You can go look at the Black Hall of Fame at the Mosaic Templars. You have a lot of talent has always been here in Arkansas. And I said this earlier before we came on, that this past year, beginning of this year and last year, there seems to have been a surge of shows where you have people of color out in the forefront and no longer in the back, so because we know that art can imitate life a lot of time. And so my lived experience is has shifted from being in the back to now being out in front to let you know of what's possible. So the past year and the start of this year has shown me the power that we all have as individuals and as a collective Because we can really do good stuff, great stuff, actually, sell out stuff. I mean, our show has been sold out since we opened, right? And so much so that they had to add seats, which those got sold because there were because of the demand for tickets. So and it just goes to show you that um when you have good material, when you have the talent to back it up, we can stand among the best.
Like for real.
I mean, and that's proven. So
I agree. All right. Anyone else want to add to that?
I have to agree. In my bio, which I think was coming out tomorrow, like I always introduce myself as a director, playwright, actor, but I also like hone in on the fact that I write and I direct and I showcase marginalized people or voices that you don't get to hear on a daily basis. And to be able to exist in spaces where we're not normally given that opportunity to do so and to do something of this magnitude and to almost, and I'm confident in saying, like, stop Little Rock, for them to turn around and be like, hey, I need to see this. Hey, I want to see this. Hey, I want to sell this out. Like, that has been like, I'm honestly at a loss of words. And also just to plug again, Darian, who is also on the show, and Miranda and I have all started a Little Rock Black Theater Collective. So that we can keep our people informed of these things that are happening and keep our people getting out of their comfort zones to come and do things like this, because it's one thing to open the door. It's another thing to walk through it and have the space to exist. But we also have to keep it going from that point on.
Gotcha.
And especially, and not just in the forefront as far as the acting or whatever else, but you look at the stage managing, set design, properties masters. Darian, who also plays Sophia in the show, is responsible for props. So you have, so it's like it's basically like Black Theater Universe, right? Right, because you have so many representations in one place, and people that look just like you doing the things that you would normally see someone else who doesn't look like you do, and they do it well.
And on top of that, like, if I could piggyback, the support from everybody has been a big thing. Like, okay, everybody took direction. Everybody is like, although we know who the Chiefs are, people are still given the liberty to kind of help in areas that they are kind of strong in. And I feel like the way, that we've come together, if we really do this even outside of the stage, like the things that could happen in
right here in our hometown. And I think that reflects a lot on our leadership as well. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to X. They are really open to suggestions, as well as our costumer, wardrobe, Tig, man.
Wardrobe was everything.
Yeah.
Our body. Like, I have to say that.
Yeah, she hit that time period just right with all the outfits that we wear.
Yeah. They really
and
have done it for sure.
And when I tell you, I didn't think I could look that good back then, because I know how I look now. Baby, I'm saying, ooh, I must have been a mess back then.
I said right. I ain't mean right. I would draw the S right. Yeah. So that is definitely a reflection of our leadership. And moving on, like, of course, we all were introduced to the movie first and then the stage play. And I'm telling you, I'm always looking for The Color Purple. I was in Washington with the FBI Citizens Academy. I'm like, hey, y'all go ahead and do that. I'm going to see The Color Purple. I even went to New York to see it. I've seen it when it came here. So I love it. But a lot of people are expecting, I guess, the same thing from the movie to take place in the play. And we know that is different. And one thing that sticks out to me, it happens every single night. And because we have someone that is such a professional, and yeah, I'm talking about you, Caitlin Colbert, when Celie and Adam are reunited.
Mama. No.
Yeah.
They are
Oh,
expecting that. And are there some other moments, I guess, that people probably are expecting from the movie that to be in the play that may or may not be in there?
yeah.
Or things that they don't expect that are in the musical.
Exactly.
Like when what's the main character? When Nick asked Celie, I want you to marry me. Nobody's expecting that because that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a great it's a great moment in the show when he does that. It brings about a lot of laughter. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it works both ways.
And then the vocal ability in this show.
Oh.
You hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, singing. It's like
Yes.
I love every piece of it. Like the way we harmonize with each other, the blend, the individual vocals. It's just it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Can we talk about that acapella? What was it?
I was just getting ready. I was just getting ready to say that because even when the technical difficulties,
Even when the
place,
devil thought he, ooh.
Yeah. But
but I tell you, the anointing. The anointing stepped up even more because it allowed the individuals to be heard individually as a collective, and no one even knew that the music had went out because that wasn't even rehearsed. Let me just say that, and half of those people that were on stage at the time had never been in that situation before. Let me just say that, if ever. I remember Miranda saying, when the music went out, I was scared. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It didn't sound like it, and everything went on the way it's supposed to, and we still had a standing ovation. How about that?
Yes.
Can we give a shout out to Taji for coming in on his in the right key?
Come on, Keys.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of talking about, I guess, live theater, we know things happen. And to me, it's all about the recovery. And Celie, our main character, one Sunday was unavailable. Mm-hmm. Guess what, people? I think in about 3 to 5 hours, Nettie stepped up to Celie. Cordell's wife, Tiara, stepped up as Nettie. And we did that. I mean, to me, I was like, these are professionals. Yeah. These are professionals. Like Maya, you kind of say that the devil thought he had us, but man, we've been knocking them out time and time again. That's not
no weapon formed can prosper.
Well, I can tell you, my daughter was there that night when Cordell's wife played Nettie, and she's coming back this weekend. She said, because if it was that good with substitutes, I really got to see the real thing. Yeah. She's coming back and she thought it was just absolutely wonderful. Couldn't even tell the difference that there was a substitute in the show.
Right. So shout out to Cordell's wife, Tiara. Yeah. Shout out to you.
Very grateful because Taji played crowd control that day. Like, woo! I was like, okay, I'm about to call this person. And we just need to keep everybody out of the room today. I was like, we need to give people space. And, also we just have to have the hearts for understanding too.
Right. Because I want to say that was like 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cordell, when they did that at Second Baptist. So it's been years.
That was well before because
wow.
We got married in 2017.
Oh, okay.
It had to at least been 2014, 15, because I think it was like 3 years before. Because she said it was 223? Yeah, it was about 10 or 11 years ago.
Wow.
And so, but I want to say thank you to the team because some people could have easily been like, "How's she gonna come up in here? Ain't been in practice, ain't did and nobody felt no kind of way, and if they did, they didn't show it. It was all respect.
Right.
I just thank y'all, appreciate y'all for real.
Nah, we appreciate her for showing up and y'all just being like, okay, bet. And y'all, I was there when you got the call and y'all was at church. So
we was at church.
Gotta be like, okay, we on the way. Like,
and then y'all didn't throw my kids at the door.
No. I have so much fun.
Right. I gained a new friend, a little kitty friend. I called my niece and nephew. They weren't happy about that, but yeah,
jealous.
Very jealous. Walked away from the phone. Didn't want to have nothing to say. Like, that's my aunt.
So, I want to ask a question. Like, Taji, as an assistant director, how do you feel about the people that you directed in a sense of, like pride in that stage?
Do you mean like
being
looking at the show from the outside in?
Yes.
I think that everybody who is here was meant to be here. Like, when I tell you, I feel that spirit from the moment of walking in to the moment that we close this show. Like, there's not one person that I think that did not deserve to be in the room. And just to be able to fellowship in that and to be able to, like, hold my head in the fact that not only did I get to be in the show, but I got to work alongside of everybody. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's beautiful. Like, I honestly feel like can't nobody tell me nothing, to be honest, like, at all. Like, this cast, this moment, this show was supposed to happen, and with these specific people in it, and like, yeah, can't nobody tell me nothing. Yeah, I don't care if it's community theater. I don't care if it's on pay. Yeah, can't nobody tell me nothing.
Like, when I look at it, I'm like, this was a very well casted.
I agree.
Like, across the board. It was perfect.
It's really interesting because I get the luxury of talking to quite a few of you, if not all of you, and the thing that I keep taking away is that the present of the Holy Spirit is always around, because I always ask myself, where do I fit in this? Where do I fit in that? And then to see Val's story, to see Maya's, to see Taji's, and to see Cordell, the road is never the same. And the destination may not always be the same, but it's the people that you meet along the way to help you get to where you want to go. And that's all of us are interchangeable that way. And that's when I learned to never in a sense compare your journey to someone else's, because we're in the same place, but we're also yet very individual. But it's the things that we learn along the way to help us. Like Cordell, for example, I've never got a chance to tell you this, but now I get to tell you, and everybody's going to see it. The fact that you have come in and you've been a brother, you've been a friend, you've been the positive energy when things we felt like things were gonna go a certain way. You were there, just like, you know what, you can't give up. You don't have the luxury of giving up. I'm not giving up, and and because I'm not giving up, you can't either, right? So accountability is everything, because guess what? If one link falls off the chain, that shortens the chain, right? So thank you for that, for letting me know, for letting me know that one link is no better than the other link, because it takes all the links together.
That's a whole sermon. You
I'm in E flat.
He just brought the turkey and the dressing.
Right.
Okay.
It's a fried turkey, and deep fried in peanut oil.
And I want to say it's so easy. And I'm saying this because I've been in it for years, and the Black community to lack humility. And I think that what you just said is all about humility. Like, everybody plays a role. Everybody plays a part, no matter how big, no matter how smart. Celebrate whatever role you're in. Celebrate the small, celebrate the big, because you never know when the big is your turn. You never know when the small is your turn. But it all plays a part. And so I think I thank you for seeing that in me, because I'm gonna be honest, there were times I'm like, Lord, I don't think I let my light shine in this moment. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I do feel like, it has, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a journey, let me say that. And I have loved and hated every moment of it. But I'll do it all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Y'all are all over the dessert that I'm going to serve at the end, but that's all right. That just lets you know that it was meant to be the dessert for tonight. Now, what are some of your favorite lines or scenes from the production? I know we can't tell everything because there's still some people who have not seen it, but just a little snippet for the people, a little tiny piece for the people.
I say look for Taji area. Their little episode just kind of steals the show to me every single time. And everybody I talk to, that's the first scene they mention that they just absolutely love. That little scene with Sophia and Harpo.
Yes.
The scene.
And on top of that, when the second scene that, because I told my wife the first night, I said, Darian and Taji, I'm not taking away nothing from nobody else, but they stole the show. Like it was,
and every time.
And every time. That darn squeak. Get the
little squeaky squeak.
Every time. And sometimes it's been different every time, but every time. And so it's just like those are my two favorite scenes.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that with Squeak, because it's the way that she run out of breath for me.
But she gonna sell it. She gonna sell it.
She gonna sell it.
I have a favorite line from the show, and I also don't mind sharing it because I don't think it's something that ruins it. But we talked about the movie and we talked about the play, but nothing holds it down like the book. Like, you have to read the origin. You have to see where it came from. Mm-hmm. But whenever I'm not going to say who said it, but if you know, you know. Whenever it said that if God ever listened to a poor black colored woman, the world would be a different place. And it just hits every time because Celie finds love in its purest form. Mm-hmm. And that is so beautiful to me. I remember reading the book. And I say read loosely because I was also listening to it on the audiobook. But I was just driving and crying in my car because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that somebody imagined, or not even imagined, probably even lived through, something that Celie has lived through. And I anytime I get to plug the book, I do it. The movie, the musical cannot compare to the words that Alice Walker wrote.
Yeah. And with you that I 100% agree, because I think what gets me about the entire play is that you see somebody turn away from God, but they come back to him. Mm-hmm. Because of life circumstances. I want to do this, but then because of life circumstances, I'm back at square one where I should be with God. Yeah, that is that's the beauty of the story.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's a part where she says God's just another man. But when you think about, she was hurt by Paul, molested by Paul, her innocence taken away. And then you get with Mr. He takes things away. The only thing, the person that you ever loved, that was taken away. And then, dear God, why you do this? Why you do this? Like, you're just another man. I'm supposed to be looking to you for help, and you're allowing this to happen. And that is a lot of people's testimonies to go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But she still knew who to go to.
Yes.
I can't hit that note like Nikki or like Celie, but she hits it.
Yeah.
You heard it.
My favorite.
It reminds me of the book of Job, baby. It reminds me of the book of Job.
Period.
How much can I push and you still not turn away?
Right. Yeah. Come on, bartender.
My favorite scene is definitely when Celie, Easter Sunday, when she basically just silenced the island. She just gets up and she's like, no, not anymore. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else hops on that energy with her.
Yeah.
And it even snaps Sophia into oh, I'm here. I'm back. I'm
Al,
back.
good, yeah.
You know, everybody got some act right after that. They said, "Oh,
Right.
You know,
like,
one thing
they really
that's really,
came-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, they really came to a judgment together. Like they was like, nah, they can't do this anymore. Like they can't continue serving these men and like, you know, following their orders and just going against themselves. They
Especially
have
when
to
they
choose
the men
themselves.
right.
That, but
Mm.
yeah,
Hollywood, I think you had something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's really interesting because Maya touched on something as well as the others that I want to shed light on just for a minute. So it's like when you get to the Easter Sunday morning scene at the table, we're at that moment in time where you have a decision to make: do I stay or do I go? Um, and so it's as if, because those of us that have seen the movie knows like what has happened prior to, and then you get to that table, and it's like Sophia has been waiting for Celie to become her equal, because for the longest time, you know, uh,
She be,
Sophia represented the strength that Celie needed,
yeah.
Yeah.
and so and even with Suge, right? So you take Sophia and you take Suge and you put them together, and that's the in Mister's mind, that's the perfect um, um, woman. And so because all of them had what the others needed. Um,
Even
um,
Steve had what they needed.
yes, even Celie, and I think that's what the I take away from the entire process, not just from that, not from those that moment, but the whole thing. Um, um, because we're truly all in it together. We all have what the other person need. And now I go back to that link that I was talking about with B Cordell Moore, with the silent B, but I said it this time. Because I think it's really important. No one gets to where they want to go by themselves, and sometimes we need help discovering what that is. And the Celia takes us on this journey of self-discovery, not just for herself, but I think all of us. I have never done a show. I have never done a show where the message did not resonate with me. Every show I have done either had I had either been a part of something that the show was talking about, or something that I was going through currently, and it was therapy. It was ministry to me. So when she says that God is inside me and everything else, that is so true, because there were moments in time where I myself was on this teeter-tottering, this wavering thing, because you can have moments of where you're not sure. I can tell you, he showed up. The entity, the entity that we know as the creator, showed up for me yet again, because he took care of me. He
Amen.
took care of me. He took care of my mind.
Amen.
He took care of my sickness. So I thank him for the color purple. I thank the universe for the color purple, because it's what I needed for me.
Amen. Amen. Y'all got all kind of deep and so that make you want to cry. I definitely can relate. And to kind of lighten just a little bit, what are some funny moments that may have happened, or some funny quirks that our cast members may have? I know I've